are kicking our butt. In Germany. That's Mark Francis's territory, huh? I bet he could speak to that. Oh, and then diabetes. This is kind of crazy, too. And I mean, it's sad. Diabetes 1 in 3 born in 2000 are going to be afflicted by diabetes. Is that nuts? I mean, that's our responsibility, you guys, not to like put the pressure on you, but that's our responsibility. As designers, of people who are going to go into communities and create places where people live and work and play, you know, not to put it all on you, but I might as well since I'm up here. So, that's your responsibility. I've given you an assignment. Sorry, Patsy, can we add that on to their assignment? Okay. You must reduce diabetes to pass 190. And this is a kind of a neat study looking in Atlanta where they actually correlated the higher density or more the mix of uses where you live and the probability of having obesity. So where it gets really little over there on the right, that means you're living in, you have a lower probability of getting obese and you live in a higher mix of land uses. So that means you have your little corner store and your school and your residences and you are walking and getting your exercise. And this is actually from my hometown of Oakdale. I hate this street. It is our main highway, but this is just to show like what kind of environments are we creating for people to walk and bike. And so that's why I really feel like this is our area, this is our turf as landscape architects, where we do have a role in health, and we do have a role in reducing diabetes, reducing heart disease, reducing our waistlines, by creating places that are a little bit more engaging than this, you know, just a little bit more, and we would be good. So here's another one. This is in Lincoln. You can walk on the dirt path to Burger King. And so this is a photo sim by this guy, Steve Price, and it's fun. I've always wanted to try to do one, but, you know, that's for when maybe I retire. I don't know when that's going to happen. But I think just one of the things landscape architects really bring that I've realized to this whole idea of, you know, when you're working with clients, they're looking at their suburban houses and they're depressed because they don't know what to do with them, and they're like, oh, this isn't working, we got all this junk, and you know, what's the future for us? How do we retrofit those areas? Because I think our future is all about reimagining, redevelopment, and retrofitting. So just put a re on it and a verb, and you got your future. Because that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be cleaning up the messes of the past. So here's a way that Steve Price goes into communities and starts getting their juices flowing to figure out, you know, what they might want to do. So this looks pretty normal, right? Humongously wide street. I don't know why it has to be that wide. A little bitty sidewalk. And a big old parking lot right there. So, I mean, that is attractive, especially if you like the color gray. You are just, that is probably your favorite place to visit. So here he puts in like, okay, so what can we do? What can we do to kind of spruce it up? And, you know, put some trees in, expand the sidewalk, put some on-street parking. He colored the median in the middle to try to give some like separation to the road so you don't just see this big gray, but now it's kind of visually it looks smaller, so you might drive slower, not run over pedestrians. And then over time, maybe businesses will be attracted to the area and start creating that dynamic place where people want to go and visit and shop. So another exciting thing, I know I'm running out of time. I was telling Patsy I didn't know if I'd have enough to say, but obviously that's not my problem. Some of the fun things that LGC that I've been interested, or Local Government Commission, I shouldn't acronym it too quickly here. You guys are like, LGC, what is she talking about? Is kind of the leadership that we're seeing at the federal and state and local and like site level. I even put site in there. Because it's really, they're all recognizing that we need to go a different direction. Now we got Obama in there, and he made the Department of Transportation, Housing and Urban Development, or I think Housing and Urban, is that right? HUD, I always call them HUD. That's the problem with acronyms, you forget what they stand for. And EPA, and so these departments, he's like, you guys have to work together. There's no more doing this separate little thing where you make your little grant, and you do your little transportation project, and you do your little grant, and you like, do that over there. It's like, you guys need to work together because we need to build communities and projects that integrate land use, transportation, community design that are environmentally sensitive. So work together, do what you got to do, but when you create your grant opportunities, you got to make sure all those are in there. Okay, and then another one, and then with the state, it's really cool that we live in California. I'm really excited. We have a lot of great stuff that we're doing. Has anyone heard of AB 32? Yeah, because that's where we live in California. That's why we heard about it. Maybe if we lived in Alabama, we wouldn't. But we live in California, and we know about AB 32, and that's really going to be shaping how our communities develop. People are going to start thinking like, oh crap, I don't know, I'm being recorded. Excuse me. The Attorney General is suing people. You guys know this? If you don't, in your CCOR, like they sued Stockton, he sued Pleasanton. I don't know who else he sued. He's so happy these days. Because if you create a general plan that is not in your CCOR analysis saying how it's going to be affecting greenhouse gas emissions, you're going to get sued. And so now cities and counties are having to figure out that. And so that's great. I think that's great leadership from the state level. And then we have our SB 375. Now, who's heard of that one? No, SB 375. That's going to help us implement the AB 32, and that's tying the transportation and land use together in California. So what they have to do now is our little metropolitan planning organizations, MPOs. Did I get it right? I'm looking at Patsy. If I get her head shake, then I know I'm on the right track. And that's SACOG for us in the Sacramento area. So they have to come up with targets, and then they have to come up with a sustainable community strategy of how they're going to do more infill, tie those things in together, and then and so it's really going to be pushing people more to build these more compact infill, mixed-use areas that link transportation, housing, and jobs and all that good stuff that makes us smile at the end of the day. And then we have the Strategic Growth Council, and that's really exciting too. Who's heard of that? Oh, we got a hand up. Okay. And so that's really exciting. They're making $90 million available for planning, which I am stoked. I'm pumped up. One of them, they have different pots within this, and one of them is for urban greening planning projects. So I'm all over that one. I've been talking to city counties. I'm like, what do you guys want to do? Because what this is, it's money to basically put green in your gray. And so I think that's fabulous. That's landscape architecture all over that. So we can get in there and put the green in gray. So anyways, I guess I'm wrapping up here, but really I just put some images in there of how we start thinking of where we're going. So this is what we got, so how do we take that and do things like this? And then what does that mean if we're getting all this pressure to live more compactly? How does landscape architects play into that? We're not doing greenfield development anymore. We're not taking some crazy parcel on the outskirts of town and developing it. We have to work with what we got, and that's the challenge I think that we got to wrap our minds around and get really good at really fast. No pressure again. Okay. So here's Davis. Woo-hoo! There's Crayville. But there's a great little mix of housing and a restaurant just below. So how do we grow more compactly in a way that doesn't, still provides a quality of life? Here's what we got now. So how do we take this mall and this and turn it into something like that? You guys already saw that picture. Here's the road. This is what we got. This is a picture from Oakdale. I'm really trashing on Oakdale, but it needs some help.